Hello again, Rabid Internet fan base. We are back in Nuevo Mexico this week with not one, not two, but 12 new properties, including a lot of small dollar stuff, the kinds of things that you guys really like, really respond to. And we got a bigger property, bigger at least dollar-wise, that we're also going to talk about this week. Before I get to that, I do want to thank everybody who left comments and feedback on the YouTube last week about the new videos, the new intro, the video editing, so on and so forth. Obviously, these things are very rough right now. They're going to become more refined as time goes on. We're going to make them a lot better, but we look for your feedback to help in that process. So feel free, guys. Leave some comments. Anyway, of course, do also want to thank all the people who bought land from us this past week. I will confess, it was a bit of a hokey-poke week here at Hemingway Land. We only sold 3 properties, but they were some of the big ones. So first off, do want to thank returning customer Mary. Placed a deposit on one of our Elko County properties, the big $24,000 one. We will be closing on that with a cashier's check, I believe. I don't know. Mary hasn't gotten back to me on that one yet, but we're cool. We're cool with Mary. She's bought a bunch of properties from us, so looking forward to that. Additionally, Ruben bought some land from us in Torrance County, and David, new buyer David, placed a deposit on one of our Hawaii County properties. So we'll be wrapping that one up with title company, hopefully before the, I don't know, summer solstice. Fingers crossed. We'll see. Going live on the website this week, we are back for the first time in a long time in Bernalillo County, up here in the north central part of the state. We've got land just outside of Albuquerque. Of course, Albuquerque home to a lot of great museums and zoos and dining, shopping, nightlife, and the annual balloon fiesta and whatever else we could find in stock footage to cut to. Whatever the case, this property sits about 20 minutes east of Albuquerque in the East Mountain region. As you can see from the headline here, it's got private access to the National Forest. It's also got pretty much all utilities accounted for, and I'll explain that one in a bit. Whatever the case, is in the Five Hills subdivision. It's a scooch over 1 acre, and it is priced at $20,000. If we bring this one up on a map, guys, you will see that, yes, here it is over here, roughly about 20 miles east, and of course this kind of high-end residential community over here, known as the East Mountain. This is where a lot of people, they hire a contractor to build their dream home, and usually they situate out here in the nice sort of suburbs, mountainous suburbs of Albuquerque. Anyway, of course, in a region like this, of course, you got a couple benefits. Number one is that these home sites out here in this community, these all have utilities, power, underground utilities, additionally water and wastewater service by the local Entranosa company that services really all the home sites in this region. Additionally, there's an emphasis amongst all the communities out here and amongst Bernalillo County zoning on maintaining the sort of beauty of the region out here because the property is in such close proximity to this giant green thing on the map. Hang on, guys. Sandoval National Forest right here, or at least one part of it. And as you can tell from the pin on the map and the giant chunk of green right here, the property, I'm not going to say it backs up to the forest, but it's very, very close. As you can see, it's here along San Pedro View, and basically it's got private access to the forest over here. The better access, my understanding, is this one over here off of Five Hills Drive. Of course, you could take the horse out there, go horseback riding, you know, go through the trails, picnic, hike, camp, so on and so forth. I assume there's some hunting available out here, though if I were you, I would inquire about that first. Whatever the case, guys, we got photos of the property. Of course, this is what the luxurious, prestigious Five Hills subdivision looks like out here. Of course, they got the paved roads, they got the utilities, as you can see right here. They got a nice little entrance sign. Additionally, community mailboxes out here. We got the community bulletin board pitching Girl Scout cookies, and you get a sense from the gallery here of some of the very nice home sites that exist out here. I will have you guys know the covenants and restrictions are not too bad in this subdivision. They're, you know, they pretty much just enumerate the minimum square footage, 1,800 square feet, 9 months to build from the time of groundbreaking, so on and so forth. But they don't get too detailed, and I think you can see with the kind of diversity of design and architecture of the homes out here, 1 stories, 2 stories, that that's evidenced by those home sites. Anyway, additionally, of course, underground utilities throughout the region. By the way, guys, you'll notice there's no actual power lines running throughout the region. That's part of the keep the National Forest area beautiful type of thing. Not too many man-made structures aside from the homes. So all the power comes from underground utilities. Of course, that's also servicing internet, phone, cable, satellite, so on and so forth. I think I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, guys, fire hydrants throughout the region, of course, because you're by the National Forest, and water meter on the subject property where presumably Entranosa comes and hooks something up. I'm not entirely certain how that works. Get your contractor to find out about it, I guess. Anyway, the paved roads out here end roughly about 200 feet just north of the subject property, which sits basically at the intersection here of Happy Hollow and San Pedro. And then, of course, we've got some very well-maintained dirt gravel roads, the other roughly 200 feet to the property. The photo gallery, I will tell you guys, is a little visually redundant. I will confess that. Nonetheless, you go about 5 photos into this and you've got a sense of exactly what this is like. Of course, as always, guys, we got the drone overlays that give you a sense of the subject property, the footprint, and just how kind of nice the surrounding community is, all these sort of nice home sites that are out here. So obviously, this is not a recreational property. This is not something that you buy to camp on or to put an RV on. This is something that you buy to build a kind of permanent home site. I suppose this is also probably a pretty good investment property. Whatever the case, that's the first one going live on the website this week, guys. Next up, we're back in Sandoval County with this awkwardly positioned thing right here. We've got one lot in Rio Rancho. We've gone from the bulk purchases to we get, you know, one here and one there and whenever we can. Anyway, this new one, guys, is in Unit 1, as you'll see here on the spreadsheet, which of course means it's very private and the taxes on the property are pretty low. This one sits just north of Northern Boulevard, so if we pull it up on the map here, you will see number 1, of course, because it's in Unit 1. It's at the western end of the subdivision, roughly about 7 miles from like the real heart of development over here at Unser and Northern Boulevard. Of course, you do have the best of both worlds with a property like this. You've got the privacy and the seclusion out here, and it's really not too difficult to get into town, particularly when the property is located here as it is just off Northern Boulevard. For those who don't know, of course, Northern is one of the main arterials that runs through this area, so Northern is pretty well maintained. I believe it's paved up until about 2 miles from the subject property, and then everything becomes, you know, pretty well-trafficked dirt gravel roads. And of course, this is what the property looks like. Of course, it should also be noted that because it's out here in the western portion of the subdivision, there's no utilities at the parcel boundary or really anywhere close. So this is one that if you do choose to develop, you're going to be doing it with solar panels, most likely. Anyway, guys, also coming up on the website this week, we've got 10 new properties in Luna County. All of these back in Deming Ranchettes. We just sold out a couple weeks ago, so I'm glad that we finally got these 10 up on the website. They vary between a half acre, which I don't normally like buying and selling, but this one's in a really developed region. Half acre, 1 acre, and a couple 2 acre properties. Of course, the spreadsheet has all the relevant information. I'll take you through the highlights, guys. We got 10 lots going live on the website this week. These are the top 5 as I see it. So the first one is 9249A. This one is, well, that's reference number LNM 9249A. We'll write them here at the bottom of the video as I talk about these. Anyway, this one located here along Penn Street. This one is 1 acre, priced at $1,500. So it's very close to this developed home site here. You've got a utility easement running along the back end of the property up this way, and basically it doesn't come right to the parcel boundary, but it stops right here along Penn Street. This is also roughly about 2 blocks from the 517 over here, which of course gives you a straight shot just up in a nearby Deming, which is about 15 minutes north from the parcel. I should also note that underground utilities are present in this region. You'll notice a couple developed home sites, 1 to this kind of agricultural operation out here. So all those being serviced by that, likely not difficult to get extended or connected onto whatever you decide to build out here. The next one is reference number LNM-10745. This one is 2 acres, priced at $3,000. You will see that this one also sits in very close proximity to developed home site and hence power. Also underground utilities out here. This one is right off Purple Sage, or pretty close to Purple Sage, and this seems to be one of the main roads in which actually has underground utilities in the region. Anyway, it sits not too far from the property that I just mentioned, both of them, of course, in this region where you've got some developed home sites, not too many, still some privacy out here. Maybe not for this lot that sits this close to a neighbor, but of course the power of the underground utilities, that is the big selling point. Next one, guys, reference number LNM-7197. This one sits out here in the eastern portion of the subdivision, just outside of Rockhound State Park. It's actually in an area that looks a little remote until you zoom in on the map, and then you find out the power is roughly about 500 feet from the subject property. This one I should mention is 1 acre. We've got it priced at $1,500 and actually has pretty easy access up here to the 549, which of course will get you back and forth into nearby Deming pretty quickly. That runs just parallel the highway up here. So not too difficult to get into nearby Deming, roughly about a 10-minute drive, something like that for groceries and supplies. And there's also some underground utilities out here. I will caution you, the utility box looks like it's seen better days, so inquire with the local utility provider if you're really curious about this one. Anyway, guys, finally, the best 2 that we have on the website this week. This one is LNM-2934, 1 acre, priced at $2,000. This one sits right here off El Ensueño. As you can see, developed home site really all along here, as well as developed home sites really throughout the region. This is in one of the more developed portions of Deming Ranchettes. Sits just a little bit south of Deming proper, probably about a 5-minute drive south of that. And here within this region, you've got power, you've got underground utilities, really both at the base of the property. Actually, if you zoom in on it, you can see here's the utility right here, utility easement running this way. along the, well, between El Ensueño and El Solinda. Anyway, guys, final property is L&M-6487A. This one is 2 acres, priced at $3,000. This one, I think you're really going to like. This is a giant corner lot. It's, of course, because it's 2 acres, we know it's 4 adjacent half-acre lots. And they occupy this area up here, and they occupy this area down here. So you've got road frontage here along Platino, along New Frontier, and road frontage along this road, which has a, I think it's called Oriel, something like that. Anyway, if we zoom in on the map, of course, you can see there's a developed home site over here, but of course, there's also power running here along the property boundary, so you've got power at the lot line. Of course, there are also underground utilities in this region, servicing this home site, servicing some of the other nearby developed home sites, and the property sits just in very close proximity to here, the 517, or here to State Road 11, which, of course, should take you north-south, north into Deming, south into Columbus, so easy access to both those towns, groceries, supplies, so on and so forth. Anyway, guys, with all that said, we got those 5 properties plus another 5 going live in Deming Ranchettes. Check them out this week. That's all from me, guys. We'll be back next week with some new Colorado properties. And yeah, see you then. Everybody, have a good week.